General, I've been following your comments on social media. I am curious to hear what we have just witnessed today and how dire a moment, in your view, this is for our country tonight.
Well, I was very proud of Congressman Gallego's comments, combat Marine on the war on terror. Look, Brian, I was sworn into the Armed Forces at age 17. I have never seen anything like this in my life. This is a direct criminal action by the President of the United States to overturn an election and to has resulted in one branch of government being shut down while they're trying to do their constitutional duty. Nothing like this has ever happened. Trump is a rogue president. The Congress must react. I was totally against impeachment before. I thought it was a bad tool. I think this actually calls for the removal of the President of the United States.
Wow.
In the world we're living in, with the congressional leadership you're familiar with, how do you make what you just said, how do you give it teeth, enforcement? How can we begin to have a realistic discussion of same?
Well, it's hard to know. This is unprecedented. First of all, there's been an unbelievable failure of security protecting the Capitol building. I mean, the White House, the Supreme Court, the Congress of the United States are under federal law enforcement protection. This isn't the mayor of D.C. It isn't the D.C. cops. These are federal law enforcement responsibilities, and they failed to act, as did the Department of Justice. Simply astonishing. So step one is they've got to get back control of the Capitol building with whatever force is required tonight, and let them go back to a constitutional duty they have to resolve. And that may indeed require active intervention by the armed forces of the United States. We'll see. Preferably not, preferably National Guard. But this is federal land, and Trump has managed to shut down the Congress of the United States. Very unusual statement just put out by the acting Secretary of Defense, Miller, which I was glad to see, sort of co-authored by the chairman of the JCS, Mark Milley, pledging that they will protect the Constitution. They don't mention Trump. They mention the Congress of the United States. So we're at a turning point in history. This has got to be confronted directly. No time for turning our heads. Trump has to be either removed from office or censured and hedged in until Biden-Harris can take legally the presidency of the United States.
And, General, let's just take one step back and outline, when we talk about military involvement, and it's been part of the discussion already today, what are the limits on it? And what are the further limits you would put on it? When and where is it allowable within the 50 states?
Well, of course, one of the problems is the power resides. The chairman of the JCS, the military uniform leadership in the Pentagon have no command authority over the U.S. Armed Forces. It resides entirely, at this point, in Trump and the acting Secretary of Defense. Congress can obviously influence their actions. But, you know, I was a captain of the United States Army during the Vietnam Million-Man March on the White House, where it was clear to me that we were not going to allow a mob of hundreds of thousands to capture the White House. And I feel the same way about Congress and the Supreme Court. We cannot tolerate that they're in the hands of an insurrection mob. That's what Trump has accomplished. So I don't think there's any limit on the ability of the U.S. Armed Forces to act to protect the Constitution. But it's in the hands of a guy who's personally inciting criminal behavior. Unprecedented. The Congress must act, and they must act tonight.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.